On SmackDown, they were in Knoxville. Of course, Bianca Belair is from the area, and she came out for a championship celebration with her Raw Women's Championship here on SmackDown. I will keep pointing that out until they have some kind of resolution to this, because we still have the SmackDown Women's Champion on Mondays and the Raw Women's Champion on Fridays, and there's been no mention of what they're going to do with the titles to rectify this. But Bianca Belair came out for a celebration and very quickly was interrupted by Asuka, who has not been seen since WrestleMania when she lost to Bianca. They had a very good match at WrestleMania this year. Asuka came to the ring. No murder clown makeup on or anything like that. She wanted a handshake, and she spat mist. She sprayed Bianca in the eyes with mist. And Bianca sold this, oversold this. I mean, like I said on Friday night, this was the Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam against Hulk Hogan sell job here. She sold the shit out of this. And what was funny, what I love about it is Asuka went on social media after, and she was explaining that it was chili pepper mist. And she was posting like photos of her holding up something. I think it was some kind of, not a hot sauce, but something, I guess, that she ate first or put in her mouth and then spit that into Bianca's eye, just to explain why Bianca was sort of overselling the entire thing. And it was chili pepper mist. I guess if you got sprayed in the eyes with chili pepper mist, you would react the same way. Now look, I love Asuka. I think Asuka is great. And I thought, like I said, their match at WrestleMania was very good. But they have a real problem right now on SmackDown. The draft is over. The rosters have been set. And Bianca Belair does not have any real good options as far as challengers right now, which is why they're going back to Asuka. I don't look at this as some sort of big renewed Asuka push. I look at this as they have a show called Night of Champions coming up in 2 weeks. They have 2 weeks to build up a challenger for Bianca Belair. She already beat Io Sky, right? So they're not going back to that. As hot as Io was in Puerto Rico that night at Backlash, they're not going back to that. They're doing the story with Damage Control. Eventually, Io here is going to split away from them, right? She's going to go on her own, probably as a babyface. So what do? You have 2 weeks to build up a championship match for this show. Who do you go to? You go back to Asuka. Right? WrestleMania came and went. They did a draft. They shook up the rosters. Bianca left Raw, took her title, went to SmackDown, and we were right back where we were heading into WrestleMania with Bianca Belair and Asuka for the championship. But if you look at the women's roster on SmackDown right now, there really aren't any other good options. You have Bianca as the champion. Charlotte Flair is gone for now. She's away. And that's a match I would save for later on. You don't go right to Charlotte Flair, right? So you take her out of the picture. And what does that leave? That leaves Asuka as the top heel. You've got Bayley, Dakota Kai, Io Sky. You've got Shotzi, Zelina Vega, Mia Yim, Aaliyah, Lacey Evans, Scarlett, B-Fab, and Tamina. And then, of course, you got Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, but they're a tag team. They're the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. So you tell me, if not Asuka, then who should they go with at Night of Champions in that championship match? I'm not even saying they made the wrong call. When I look at this roster, there's nobody else. I mean, there is nobody else from that list that they could credibly build up in the span of 2 weeks, other than just plugging Charlotte Flair in there, to go in there and wrestle Bianca Belair. But it presents a bigger problem that they have. They got a lot of work to do. They have their work cut out for them as far as building up challengers for Bianca now on SmackDown. Because Bianca isn't just the champion. She's the Roman Reigns. Or the Gunther of that division, right? They have a whole bunch of long title reigns going on concurrently right now. First time that I can remember that's ever happened, where they have, the world champion, the intercontinental champion, the women's champion. They all have these very long, impressive runs that are going on simultaneously. So Bianca is just this unbeatable force that has been champion for well over a year. Look at that list and tell me who you think, even going into Money in the Bank, right? Money in the Bank is still 7 weeks away, maybe, whatever. I think it's about 7 or 8 weeks away. Who are they going to put in there with Bianca for Money in the Bank? Let alone Night of Champions. So they really didn't have a better choice. But again, it's a failure on their part of building up enough of these women to be credible challengers for the championship. And by the way, the same goes for Rhea Ripley and her belt on Raw. I think it's a worse situation they're in on SmackDown. But it ain't no better on Monday nights than it is on Fridays. And I said it before the draft, I'll say it again, one of Triple H's greatest failures of his administration so far, since he took over the book, has to do with the women and the women's division. And we're seeing it right now here on SmackDown.